might have just got the clinching goal. They've done it in this time, but I don't know if they can get to. They need something miraculous here off the kickoff.
Man's gonna lead the way. Call Red will be behind, but we'll see for how long until we get another shot. Here it comes. Here comes Red. Not gonna find it yet.
Note Academy gonna have another chance at offense here. No, hit away by Waffles. Can it be a goal? No, Command Battle. So Command Battle misses.
What a two! Waffles! Timing is everything. The positioning is everything. We've said that a million times, right? 25 seconds ago, and we're certainly not going to count them out until the last possible second. Command Battle might be the last hope now, 20 seconds to go, and Affinity Prospects are still hanging on. They got 15 seconds on the clock, and all they got to do is not let Unknown Academy score. Every second that goes is one closer to Affinity Prospects wearing the heavy crown. Unknown Academy down to 5, and that will be the difference. The Affinity Prospects will hold the crown. All splash, no wake. Affinity Prospects take the Riptide Cup.
Hello guys, hello. Thanks for hanging out and waiting. I'm sorry if the stream's a little bit laggy and messed up. I'm not really sure what's going on with that. I'm trying to mess with it as we're doing it. But I'm joined by Curio. I'm Anthony Malum. It's RLSS time. We're so back. We're so back. The Curio cam is so good. My friend, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm so excited. I mean, Odyssey is my team, but I love Uprising as well. All those guys are really fun, so I can't wait to get this game started.
Same, yeah, I'm very excited. I think we're waiting on Uprising still to get in, so.
Yeah.
Always says in my stream as well. yeah, Gray was supposed to be here. He might pop in and just kind of be lurking, but we'll leave that there in spirit for Gray.
He's somewhere on my shelf.
Yeah, somewhere on your shelf. Ooh, see, that's fun lore. You gotta add that into the picture.
Oh, that'd be cool, actually. Yeah.
But yeah, if the stream's a little laggy, bear with me. I'm hoping it fixes up. We might have to restart it one more time before we get into game. I don't know why it wants to give me trouble my first RLSS stream of this season. That's just a dagger to the heart, man. But I'm so excited. I missed RLSS.
It feels like it's been too long, just like RLCS, but we're back at it.
Yeah, we're so back. We're so back. Oh, man, there's so many good games tonight, too. After this, I'm going to raid into Tommy. Tommy's got a bunch of games tonight. Are you casting with Tommy tonight, all Curio?
Yeah, I'll be picking up the ones that he's been doing tonight. Transparent, though.
Okay. Yeah, you guys have a long night of casts ahead, so we'll definitely send right over there after. Still waiting. One team to pop on in. Thanks for all the follows and the subs that I did see as well while I was dealing with the fun storm of my stream giving me trouble. Oh, I'm so ready. I'm feeling so amped up. I feel like I haven't gotten to cast RLSS because I've cast Rocket League, but I don't know, RLSS, it's got my heart, you know?
I feel that.
What are some things you're expecting to see between these two teams? Because I think this is actually it's either my first or my second Surge cast, because last season I came on towards the end, and it was mostly Riptide Cup stuff for me. So Surge is something I really haven't gotten to experience too much.
Okay. I know Surge is definitely going to be a lot more faster play style. I'm assuming that these two teams specific, because I know the guys on there, but there's going to be a lot of that high flying action, a lot of aerials, a lot of 50s and bumps. It's just going to be a lot of action tonight.
Okay, I like that. I like the idea of bumping being a big factor. That's something that I feel like I've seen step up recently, because I cast an okay bit of Rocket League, not a lot, but it feels like in the last couple months the bumping's gone crazy. It's like there's bad blood out there or something. But I've been enjoying it because I like the dynamic it brings. I feel like it really gives you the ability to make the pitch feel way bigger than it actually is, which is not the easiest thing to do when you're in such a limited space.
Yeah, it's definitely one of the things that can be the biggest part of a play in the field. Like, let's say you just went for the ball and it's kind of rolling towards the net and you see a defender. If you're able to block that defender, bump him and get him out of there, just have that ball roll in, then that's just a huge moment for the team.
I overall will be looking for those bumps you mentioned. And yes, Tommy, I saw what you mentioned. I got to make sure I point it out, right? The sponsors this season pulling up strong for RLSS. Last season, not nearly as many. So this season, we're taking a big jump up and in perfect time, too, I would say. But yeah, big shout out to them. Big shout out to every sponsor going through. And now we're just waiting about match info. Okay, well, that's in the ticket that they have. So you can just peek in there and you'll see the match info. We're too popular to read it out. There'll be 1 million people in there ready for blood. Kidding. Go ahead and send that to Nick. That's it, sign me up. I appreciate all of the follows and stuff. That is very appreciative. We're just waiting to get started up between Uprising and Odyssey. Should not be too long here. It's still week 1. We got a whole season of chaos to go, and hopefully the stream hangs together. Right now I've got it dangling by duct tape, apparently.
Oh, man. I know. The fact that this is just week 1 and so many crazy moments have already happened, and from Riptide all the way to Cyclone, like, it's just been insane already. There's so much competition in this league.
All right, looks like we finally got everybody in the lobby and ready to go. Oh boy, that's what I love to see, is everybody pulling up right in time. Like you said, make a splash happen. It's our first cast together. It's my first RLSS of the season, week 1. It's Uprising and Odyssey, HSG and N2N. We need you to give me the lore behind the names at some point in this cast, Curio. Let's get into it, guys. Welcome into RLSS. It's time, baby. Animal Killer already off the start, looking to see what can get going for Uprising. They're already aggressive onto it, already get a shot across, but it's off the top of the crossbar and cannot find its way in. Now it's time for Odyssey to recover and try to make a play happen to get the ball off their side, clear away, and make it their pitch again. But it doesn't last for long. They've already got Uprising coming back at them, Curio.
There's so much with this team that I know, and I know Anima is one of the best shooters, if not the #1 shooter that's going to be in Surge, because he's been on that ones grind.
The ones who take that ones grind, who figure out the shooting, they come through so clutch, not just early on, but at the big moments that could pop up late. Chili tries to drive it home, but slightly off the mark, looks to reset and maybe look for that to be the opportunity for Odyssey to find their way through. But honestly, Uprising taking the calm approach, not stressing out, because the offense hasn't really been there so far from Odyssey. Uprising are just kind of relaxing in their side. They're already back on offense, and Animal Killer's looking for it, but Chili will be there off the ceiling to clear it out and start making it another chance for Odyssey to get one through. Micah
Is up.
blocked away by Animal Killer at the perfect time there. Needed that so bad. Anima pulling through clutch. Nick could not follow up further, though, so now shots ring back through onto Odyssey. Their defense is going to be tested so far tonight, as it's already happened. They're going to keep it up, but how long can you keep a defense like that going?
Not long enough. That's something that a lot of people have been seeing in Riptide too, is that they have this pressure on offense. Sometimes people refer to it as a snake-like pressure. He just keeps tightening until the defense breaks.
You cannot allow the pressure to keep up, because the pressure non-stop. We saw it today in RLCS. That's what makes things break and shots go through, and then things get out of hand, and it can happen quickly. It looks like the attempt so far has been strong to hold on, and now Uprising find themselves the ones on defense for what feels like the first time in a couple minutes at this rate. Odyssey still looking for it. Trash. Pops up, goes on in to make it 1-0 for Uprising. That was gorgeous. The follow-up, too. The attention to detail there from Uprising to follow through. That was one thing that I kept wondering, Curio, is on their offensive shots, they feel like they've been waiting for somebody to set them up, and they've had the patience, and finally it worked out.
It's definitely one of the things that you see in Surge more. They look for the setup, they look for the passes. Not a whole lot of solo plays, but every so often one of those do come out.
The team play is what will matter the most ultimately, and for Uprising, that team play has already gotten them a 1-0 lead early on here, forcing Odyssey to try to find out a response. They got 2 minutes and 20 seconds left to do it. Still plenty of time if you start making shots across, but Nick says not quite yet. see how much time we can continue wasting through. And Anima just playing fancy, not allowing Odyssey a chance to even touch the ball.
Well, Anima's up. Does he get a reset here? Oh, he just takes a shot.
Oh, it's so gorgeous coming through. How could you not watch the dancing through the stadium like that across the pitch to get it in? Anima making it happen, and now it's 2-0. Uprising and Odyssey have got to figure something out. They got 2 minutes to do it. Kickoff goes. 2 minutes now, Curio. With 2 minutes left to go, you're down 2-0. That's a lot of time to make a lot happen. Chili brings it through, but not going to get one quite yet. And the next shot goes off wide. Micah tried to make it happen, but Nick is there and now clears it across the pitch. It's time for a coast-to-coast, but can you find the shot? Anima almost follows up great, but Chili's there for the save. Now it's Micah's turn. Bring it on through. Back to Chili, back to Micah, but Trash Quest says not quite yet.
Defense is really showing here for HSG. It looks amazing.
It's so good so far. It feels unbreakable, but if you're Odyssey, you have to break it. That's the entire key, is breaking through somehow, getting your goals across somehow. Otherwise, you're going to be sitting 2-0, if not 3-0 for the rest of game number 1 in this best of 5. In week 1, Trash Quest tried to send it through. Chili there for quick responses. Sets up Micah decent at midfield. Tries to bring it to the corner to look to maybe reset out. And waiting is the rest of Odyssey, but still nothing quite clear. And Anima's at it again, Curio.
There's been so many bumps I've been seeing too. Like Trash Quest earlier had seen there was a passing play in process, and he just bumped the second man to ruin that play completely. That's huge.
Huge indeed. A huge third goal comes across from Uprising. You talked about the bumps. You warned us about the bumps, and we talked about the pressure, and we warned Odyssey about the pressure and what that could do to open up goals coming through from Uprising, and now it has played out to give them a 3-0 lead. Only 38 seconds left to go. So not impossible, but not likely either. And Anima with an instant demo on Micah might set up Uprising to get a shot through, but they're not going to find it yet. Just 30 seconds now, and this is one of those awkward points where it's like, all right, you have to play till the clock goes out. You want to get every chance across, Curio, but sometimes it's just not quite there.
They're definitely taking their shots. They have the offense, but Odyssey just needs to find that extra push to like get around the defenders, put it in an awkward spot.
One last shot won't go through. The clock will end in game number 1. It goes to HSG Uprising. They take it 3-0 in game 1, and Anima with a very, very, very strong showing. What's kind of the big stuff looking through that you noticed that Odyssey need to change? Because we talked a lot about the strengths of Uprising that we saw, but obviously it wasn't a bad showing from Odyssey, but something has to still change.
I would think Odyssey needs to be able to find out which rotation they're doing. Are they doing 2 back, 1 forward, 2 forward, 1 back, or just find that little triangle position on the field to get those passes to your players to take the shots?
Okay, so kind of what we discussed, actually, that kind of find your way of making the pitch feel a little bit bigger and not allowing your opponent to dictate where you go and how you do it. Okay, I mean, that makes sense. That's easy to follow, but I guess the question becomes is, in practicality, will they really be able to pull it off? I'm not sure if they will. My biggest questions for you, how do you deal with pressure like that? Because the pressure that was coming up from Uprising made it impossible for Odyssey to play good defense, because when 100 shots come at you, if you block 99, that's still going to be 1 goal.
Yeah, I know one of the things that I've always struggled with is when the ball is up in the air coming towards you, sometimes you need to be having a player on that backboard so that they're the first ones to see the whole field and get the block and save.
There's another bump already. This one was actually trying to get the ball through onto Uprising. Chili will look forward. Adam is ready to follow up, at least until he gets popped by Nick. So that's 1 less going aggressive so far. Micah will bring through. Chili's in the air. That'll actually send it back to Micah, who read the situation really well, but he's still got to turn it into something here. Anima not able to get back control. No pre-1 minute in goal, which is something I feel like I see all the time, but Uprising playing just a bit too good a defense,
Oh,
but they left their net open, and Adam pulls on through and makes it 1-0 for Odyssey, their first goal of the series.
Oh, Nick accidentally bumped his teammate in the air and leaving an open net. That's so unfortunate for HSG.
It was unfortunate as it gets. I mean, I'm really surprised that happened. I felt like it was going to take time for Odyssey to figure out how to break through Uprising, but that's just not the case this time. It almost felt like they were a new team already.
I always tell this to Tommy whenever I'm casting with him. The first game is always the teams feeling it out. And maybe, yeah, Odyssey did fall to 3 goals, but they were seeing how the other team plays and what they could do to counter the next game and get the lead back.
The first game is always the testing the waters, but I mean, if you are Odyssey, you are now deep in the deep end of it, looking for another one to get further, but maybe still a bit more shallow than we thought. Just 1-0, 3 minutes and 20 seconds left to go, and Uprising are looking to take another one through, but Anima not able to follow this one past as Adam was there and ready, and following it all the way over. Chili as well there for the pass, not going to find it yet. Micah sends it up, but Nick's there to clear it. Uprising figuring back out that defense we were talking about. One more shot comes through from Adam, but Anima there again. Curio, it's just non-stop. It feels like Odyssey have figured out their best way of shooting, but aside from the one goal, it still feels like Uprising just has a better idea of what their defense actually brings and how to utilize it properly.
It definitely works a lot with a team that's not super mechanical. Right now, they're not really showing a whole lot, but they all know they can pull off these mechanics if they're given the space. So they are making sure they don't give anyone that space.
No space at all, especially not in the net as Anima gets one out. Still 1-0, but that might be new life for Uprising. 2 minutes, 20 seconds left to go. They had an open net, so they thought, but Chili shows up at the perfect time to block it out. It's still Odyssey's game to lose, but they want comfort. They want another, but they can't find any openings. Every time they attack the net, every time they're close to it, it gets cleared out before they can react, and it feels like this entire game has been a game of Odyssey sprinting midfield, Curio, to try to send it back.
It really feels like they are trying to play catch up. They have the space and they're utilizing the space, but there's just still not enough to really get them that offense that they want.
Not at all, and it feels like time is going faster in games like this where a lot of shots ring through. Adam will look for another. Nick is there. 1:25 left to go. Another comes through, but it's slightly off the mark, and that off the mark could matter a whole lot. That would have been the 2-0 for Odyssey. Still 1-0, coming up on 1 minute left to go. If I'm Uprising, it's time to make or break and get some shots across if you don't want to end up in a tied series. Adam sets up for it, not going to find it. Now it's aggressive on the side of Odyssey.
Huge clear for Nick. They definitely needed that as all of Odyssey was coming for a goal.
They really wanted it there. I love that Uprising explodes out. It's like every play they have a chance at offense is a breakaway, even when it isn't, and that's great, but you can't leave things open like that, and you can't miss like that, Curio. 2-0 for Odyssey.
What a read from Micah. Notice it was bouncing off the backboard just ever so slightly to go straight down and not out. What an angle that was.
The angles feel like they were just a matter of time. It feels like Uprising's had the protractor out on the blue side of the pitch the entirety of game number 2, and finally they got the correct one. They're passing their geometry class, but teachers said, you know, I dismiss you, not the bell, and there's 30 seconds left to go for Uprising to come back. Micah to Adam, who gets the demo, but it's going to be off the mark. No, Curio, I saw a smoke screen. I saw an opportunity, but it's gone. It turns into an Uprising shot to make it 1-2. 15 seconds, and they still got a chance to bring this one back, and Odyssey's been looking so good, but Uprising said, hold my ball.
That was an insane turnaround of that. Like, I wasn't even expecting a freaking counterattack like that.
Not at all, but hey, we said it, they make everything look a fast break, but now you need the fastest of those fast breaks. You got less than 10 seconds to go to tie it up and send us to an OT. It's down to 4, and Odyssey might have just gotten the perfect clear to make this happen, and they did. Game 2 goes to Odyssey. They take their ball, and they're going home to tie us up 1-1.
We love seeing tie series. Hopefully we could keep going, because here in the bucket, we love seeing that Game 5 Champions Field.
Oh, a Champions Field in our first co-cast together, and my first cast this season for RLSS. You can't write it up any better than that. That would be wild. And thank you so much, Kat, for those 5 gifted subs. I appreciate that a lot. I did see it. But man, that was a roller coaster of a game too. Did you see, you asked for a bunch of changes from Odyssey, and Uprising still looked good, but I feel like they kind of answered all the things you were looking for, Curio.
It did seem that way. Odyssey stepped up, and they were putting those shots on, and they were actually getting. I think honestly, maybe they just need a little more bumps.
Every time you ask for bumps and you get the bumps, it's turning into spectacular games, and it's turning into goals. So I'm completely on board with the idea of giving more and more bumps. I personally like when they get out there and play bumper cars, because I feel like it always ends up being the most exciting type of game. All right, getting in here to game number 3. We're tied up 1-1 between HSG Uprising and N2N Odyssey. All right, so what's that HSG lore? You gotta know it.
HSG, I know that that stands for Heady Scarf Gang, which is one of our sponsors. But I mean, they go pretty far back too. I mean, they've been in RLSS since before it was even called RLSS.
Oh, so they're like OGs.
Yeah.
And you know, I saw that in the hype up for the match. This was a matchup of the Surge OGs.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, is OG enough for a shot? Not quite. Still 30 seconds, 0-0, but an opportunity did present itself to Uprising. But one of the first times it feels like they've failed to capitalize on one of those opportunities. Maybe it turns into a play for Odyssey, a chance to bring it across the pitch and make their lead happen again early. They did it last time. Why shouldn't they be able to do it again? But Uprising at least try to have more tricks up their sleeve. Trash Quest sends it. It's going to be bounced off in a great spot, but Anima needed boost, gets caught out for it, and couldn't follow up on what was a perfect center. The demos ring through. That's an open net. Who's there for the follow-up? It's actually Anima to keep it safe. Trash Quest in the corner. Not going to find it that time, but man, Curio, that was great response there from Uprising to take every advantage they had to make sure Odyssey couldn't score, even though they had, it feels like 3 or 4 opportunities there.
It's actually so crazy because I've played with Anima before too, and he is such a fast player. Like, he can recognize what's happening on the field and just react to it. Sometimes he has boost, sometimes not, but he still does what he can to get there.
The players that can make stuff happen when they're low on resources, out of position, those are the players that can get you from, you know, the week 1 simple games into the big playoff moments and take you through. So definitely something to watch out for. Still 0-0 with 3 minutes left to go. Anima's coming through and was ready for a clip of the week, but not going to find it that time because of Chili pulling through at the last second for Odyssey. Now it's their ball to bring across the pitch, and Atomic is there, but Anima finds his way all the way back through and says, nah, not right now. Nick, picked up by Micah, tries to follow up, not going to find it. Atomic clears it out. 2 minutes, 40 seconds left to go, and Curio, we're still in a tie, but a bit of a team bump there. What are you seeing? What can change? Is there a chance? Maybe Nick finds it, but no, not going to be there this time.
It's a little tough, because right now both teams are playing very well. It's just got to find out when the time is to strike, and they're just not giving them that chance either.
They're really not. You said time to strike, and when has been the time to strike? We're at 2 minutes to go, and still no kickoffs, no real true resets, just constant high-octane action. And at some point, somebody's going to make a mistake in that, and maybe that's where you get your goal through. Uprising on the orange side of the pitch looking for it, but there is a demo from Anima. Nick looks for it, plays it real well. It's off the crossbar and slammed on home by Anima.
That's definitely what we were just talking about. All the pressure, all the offense and defense playing, eventually you start running out of boost and lose position, and then disaster strikes.
You know, it's funny, usually the high-scoring games feel longer, but the way the action's been back and forth has made this particular Game 3 feel very long. We still have 1 minute and 40 seconds left to go. We just had our first goal in it in this tied series so far. But Uprising continues to show why they are a problem, and Odyssey maybe need to find a new approach towards the net. They looked for it there. They took a more patient approach, but Anima juggling to the corner out of boost. Won't have anyone to follow up. Going to be a midfield reposition, which might catch them open. And oh, baby, it does. It's tied 1-1.
Those are the duo of the century. Mike and Atomic, they're so good at playing twos together. He sees them, he passes them straight to Atomic.
So well played there to tie it up. You know, it feels like we haven't seen a lot of that duo play so far, but after watching that, I'm sitting here saying, all right, why aren't the two of you in lockstep, sprinting up, holding hands? It's Valentine's Day. Step it up. We'll see if they do. 1 minute, 5 seconds left to go. Tied up at 1-1. Anima doing everything pump-wise in the corner to keep Odyssey from getting comfortable. But the boost is just not there right now for Odyssey. They finally recollect, but by the time they do, Uprising's already looking to clear it out. Atomic finds it, though, from a side wall by midfield. Anima is prepared after the save from Nick to bring it across, but not going to find it there. Only 40 seconds left to go, and nobody's breaking quite yet.
This is where Odyssey needs to get a little more careful. They're on the defense, they're playing backboard, but they need to make sure there's only one person going for the save and not pulling two.
That sound you heard was 30 seconds left to go, and by the time I say it, we're at 20, and it's still 1-1. We're looking at a potential OT here in game number 3. Atomic brings it through. Anima not trying to leave an open space. Chili will go for the contest and tries to pass it up, but it's not there. Now it's a run through. You got to be perfect on this defense. Can they do it? No, they cannot. And Nick takes it with just 7 seconds left to go. He brought it all the way through, and you can see the panic in Adam's car, but just not able to make the block happen.
That was such a huge play. They had a breakaway. Atomic was the last back, and then Trash Quest knew he had to go for a bump. Even if he gets him or not, you just fake it out, made him move for the ball.
And just like that, it touches down to give that game to HSG Uprising. That's going to give them a 2-1 lead in this best of 5 so far. And boy, did they earn that one. It feels like the discussions that we were having in Game 1 are just so not relevant anymore. It feels like we're in a completely new series.
They definitely stepped it up. I'm pretty sure that they might be listening and saying, hey, that's a good idea. Let's focus on that. But it just depends on what happens the next game. Each game is a new game.
Hey, you said that with Game 1, so it makes a lot of sense. And it's worked out for Uprising because they came into that one with a new headspace. And I know it feels like we've been kind of almost pitching like Odyssey is sort of an underdog here, which isn't really what I'm trying to do, but it's more so just that the two strengths that these teams seem to have are so pungent that it's hard not to really look at it that way. Uprising feel like you just cannot score on them, whereas Odyssey feel like they don't want to stop shooting. So yeah. It's this weird David-Goliath matchup just inherently, or unstoppable force, movable object type of beat, and it really begs the question of what breaks, and we saw our first couple breaks there at the end for Odyssey, and they just got caught off guard from Uprising. It's a new game, though, Curio. It's new life. It's a new chance for Odyssey to tie it up and force a Champions Field on our first one together, too.
Ooh. Nice
Trash Quest there. That was pretty, wasn't it? We need more like that.
Just straight shots, go to the net.
Yeah, I need all the it sounded like it got you to sit up in your chair. I mean, that's the shots I need here. I need the Curio height. Anima looking to bring it through. Atomic will rush underneath. Anima's making it look so good. Oh my god, coast to coast, net to net, and Anima made it look so easy doing it.
It's that high-flying action I was talking about. I know Anima loves his aerials. Gotta stop him.
Yeah, and I mean, at the last second, Odyssey popped it in, but that was going in 9 times out of 10. It's nonstop. It's just nonstop. HSG Uprising, 2-0, just like that, not even a minute in, Curio. I mean, we talked about each game is a new game. This is a new Uprising, and it's a scary Uprising. What do you do?
I know the kickoffs is going to be like the biggest part. They need to get it in their favor. They need to have that man cheating up and going for the ball almost immediately.
Chili does it, but Nick says no, gets the save out. So at least they answered the kickoff, but now you've got to do the hard part. That's actually get it through. We talked about the defense from Uprising and how hard it's been to get through. So this 2-0 feels like a 3-0, a 4-0, even if you are Odyssey. But you got to keep the pressure on and try to get every little open goal, every mistake, take advantage of it. They're making it happen. They've got the ball all over the net, but you got to get it in, and that's just not happening.
Odyssey definitely wants to be like putting that pressure on real hard right now. They're on match point. They're down by 2. Then they need to give this everything they got.
Everything they got and then some kind of feels like where we're at if you are Odyssey. And they have the power to do it. We saw the 2v2 action. We've seen the passes be great. Micah's been really Johnny on the spot with a lot of the defense, and we have not talked about it a ton because we haven't had time. And Micah trying to be a shooter there, not going to find it through Trash Quest. That's still going to be a 2-0, but like I said, there is hero potential from anybody on Odyssey. They just got to find the right spot to do it. I'm looking at this duo that we talked about. Not going to find it there, though. If you're Chili, Uprising still calm. If you're a duo, Curio, if you have that strong 2v2, shot goes through, Trash Quest pops it up, not letting it in quite yet. It still dangles in front, not going to go home yet. And Nick will clear it away. That's a Death Slammer if you're Odyssey, but they're not done taking shots yet. Micah will have one more, and it's open, baby! That's going to be 2-1 for Odyssey. I said, how do you make the two-man pop up? How do you make that duo pull through, Curio? And I think we saw a bit of the answer.
A little bit. There was that pass, the going middle. Micah was there at the right time and sees an open net.
Open as can be, and one way that you can actually get your goals through is taking advantage of those open nets. And Odyssey's done it once now, and they've got 2 minutes and 40 seconds to do it again, and that would be massive to pull through. And I wouldn't be surprised to see it because Odyssey's shown one thing for sure, Curio, and that's that they've got heart in this tough matchup. Not ready to give up yet, but Anima has shown a lot of shooter skill. But that time going to come up short. Maybe this is a play for Odyssey.
Looking dangerous. Nick shuts it down early off the sidewall.
Anima, midfield, will find it. Will Uprising set up off of it? From the ceiling, it's slightly high. Trash Quest was set up, maybe looking to see if he could pop this soft touch in, but it wasn't there. Trash will stick with it by that net, but Chili's able to pinch it off the wall to keep from happening, but Nick continues the onslaught. Now it's Nika's turn. Trash still looking, can't get there. Odyssey's pulling up at the last second every time. How long can they keep that up? Adam's there this time, and now Adam will try to follow through, goes to Chili off the wall. He'll look for the pass, gets it, will find the bounce. No, Anima stops it from bouncing up and opening up a shot. Atomic? Maybe, but Anima says no again. It's non-stop so far, Curio. Just absolutely non-stop that these teams are allowing each other any room to breathe.
Right now, they're really putting the pressure on. I can see that they're just taking shot after shot, and sometimes that's all it is. You make so many shots, eventually one will fall through.
Eventually, right, but you've got to keep it up. You have 1 minute to keep it up, and Chili says, I got it, boys! We're still up! That's a tie game! I can't believe they did it, Curio. I can't believe they pulled that through!
Oh, tie game. Could be an OT. Could make it to game 5. We'll see what happens.
1 minute left to go. Tied up. Uprising find themselves on match point. Will they be able to send it home and take the week 1 victory? A week 1 would feel so good. That's the time you want it. Set up your whole season. Micah might have had some speed behind that, and the chance had the positioning been a bit better, but it's not there quite yet. Chili will pick it up. Look what he can do. Brings it through, but Anima's there again, not allowing it in. A demo comes, and that's going to be enough to set up Anima to make it 3-2. Is that the potential killer? Is that the go-ahead goal for Uprising to take it?
The demos are so huge, especially with under a minute left. They have to really be watching out for those plays.
35 seconds to go. Will Odyssey regain? They've got to go quick, but they've already got to scramble back to their net. At this point for Uprising, it's time to burn the clock, and it's pretty easy to do that when you've got shooters like Anima on tap, when you got Trash Quest playing aggressive, but Odyssey say, all right, we make it happen here. They're set up, they'll look for the pass, it does get cleared away. This might be their last chance when they get back control, if they do, but a big demo onto Micah, gonna make it tough. Atomic goes for it, Anima can't find it, Chewy finds it and ties it up with just 5 seconds to go!
The demo on the defensive Odyssey was huge, but it was the bad timing for it, leaving his defender back alone.
Atomic pulls up when it matters. What did I say? Heroes. Curio, I said heroes, and that's their hero. Trash Quest will have one more chance. 1 second, it is in the air. Anima's there, but it's going to be sent away. Might not be it here. It will be an overtime to stay alive, and we've seen... You were watching RLCS today, Curio. There was a lot of long overtime, so we're either in for a quick one or you might want to grab some snacks.
I'm excited. Anima's up. It's already on the
Trash Quest!
Side.
Oh, and Trash Quest makes it look so easy and so quick. That's going to do it. Uprising, take it. Anima brought it to the ceiling, and Trash Quest sent it on home. The quest wasn't for Trash. The quest was for the W, and HSG Uprising pull through.
What a finish. It was one of those quick OTs, but what a game.
What a game indeed. GG's all around. And what a crazy, crazy one to end on right there. I mean, I'm really curious to hear your kind of your final thoughts on like what we saw. I mean, that ending is I didn't expect it to end so quick. I was sitting here waiting like, okay, we're in this for the long haul. Maybe a 5-minute. I'm looking at like a 3-minute OT, but no, just Anima brings it to the ceiling. What did you see? Was it the back wall defense?
It was the back wall defense that really helped them, but also those demos. Those demos are huge, and so many people hate them because of that reason.
Yeah, it's, man, and you mentioned it. Shout out to you. Very beginning. You said it. Bumps. Look for the bumps and what they do, and the bumps pulled on through, and that ended up being the difference maker ultimately, and it ends up giving HSG Uprising the victory. But yes, thank you guys for hanging out. GG's all around. Thank you for the follows and the subs. And Curio, thank you for joining me. It was our first one together. I'm sure it won't be the last, but thank you so much for doing it. I hope you had fun.
Yeah, that was great. I loved it.
Heck yeah, and you're not done tonight. You've got lots of games to go tonight, Curio, if I'm not mistaken, over on the old Tommy Buckets channel tonight. Do you happen to know any of the games off the top of your head as we start to raid on out to Tommy Buckets?
Off the top of my head, I believe one of them is going to be Surge, one of them is going to be Riptide, but a lot of high action as well in those games.
Thank you, Krusty Dog, for those bits on the way out. But that's going to do it for us tonight. My name's Anthony Malum. In all the boxes and the panels for Twitch, you can find all my stuff, all the other leagues I cast for. My name's Anthony Malum on everything. Thanks for hanging out. My first RLSS cast of this season with many more to go. Going to go ahead and raid into Tommy Buckets now for more of the same action from the same league. He's the league owner. So make sure you tell Tommy hello from us, and thank you for hanging out. And I'll see you tomorrow night for Olivet Gaming. Bit of another OG. I'm just sticking with the OGs, Curio. But thank you, and good night, guys. I'm going to send you over to Tommy right on now. Okay. Make sure that goes through. It went through.